The show is none other than Shankar of GreenEarth blockchain. Welcome back, Shankar.
Uh, Great to have coming back on this show with you, Nick, and great to be back here after a gap of almost 2 months. The last time we spoke was October 15th, and that was that's a video which we have shared with a lot of people to explain our project. So, in that sense, these AMA videos that we do with you are really the key videos for our project that we share with people who say, okay, can we have a call to understand? I say, just see the video and then we can have a call. And so, yeah, great to be back here. We have lots of updates to share, and we wanted to do it with you on this channel.
Well, I always enjoy these updates on this amazing project, and I also want to wish you a very happy new year, a happy 2023.
Yes, Nick, wishing you as well and all your team members and viewers Happy New Year. We're 1 week down, but we still have 51 weeks left, so lots of time ahead. And this will be a very interesting year, I'm very sure. I think it will be better than last year in many ways. We will cover that as we go ahead. And but there's a lot of work to do for everyone. I think we have to remain alert.
Yeah. Well, last year was, of course, also a very interesting year. But what's your view on the crypto industry, and what can we expect in 2023?
Nick, you saw like 2022 was like a very proper crypto winter. We did advise as many investors as possible back in Jan-Feb last year that it is going to be difficult. And that's how the long-term trends have been. Every 2 3 years after we have a rally, things start going south. So it was expected, and but what did we didn't really expect was the kind of blow-ups that we saw in Terra, Luna, and FTX. But I think that is what makes a crypto winter a crypto winter, and so there has been a lot of damage. Terra crashed in May, and FTX in November, exactly 6 months later. But I think a lot of people have got impacted in FTX. Trading funds, hedge funds, individual traders. So there is some impact that will come and continue to come in the next few months as the industry tries to absorb what has happened in FTX. It was a large exchange, and I think it also increases, and not just increases, significantly increases the anchor role that Binance has to play now in this industry. And so I think it that kind of keeps me a bit anxious and alert that everything is now dependent on Binance, because that's where the significantly large part of crypto industry now is. So if it plays out well, we would come out well. So that's very important.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm also a little bit anxious, like you say, about Binance. I really hope that CC got everything under control over there.
Yeah, I have full faith in Binance, and that is still the exchange that we use for bulk of our work. And we believe that they are learning rapidly from what is happening and doing whatever is required. So, but yes, it still would help wherever possible for individual investors to have some positions in Coinbase, Binance, maybe Gate, just 2 3 exchanges, just to keep things stable.
And then, sort of going a little bit deeper on this, you also see there's some rumor with DCG, the digital currency group, and with Silvergate, and there's a lot of sort of rumblings underneath
Yes,
the
yes,
surface.
yes,
How do you
yes, Nick.
feel?
They're all part of the FTX downstream impacts. Like we said, that's at least 10 billion USD worth of capital got wiped out there. So it will have significant downstream impacts with different crypto industry large players. So some of them may have balance sheets to absorb it, and some of them may not have the balance sheets to absorb it. So that's why I said next few months it will take for this whole thing to absorb. About 6 months. So you can say November it happened. till May, the impacts may continue.
Yeah, yeah, and you probably also expect Bitcoin to go lower first before it sort of recovers, right?
That's a totally separate thing, Nick. Good you pointed that out. The See, the entire crypto industry, including the leader Bitcoin, they are under pressure from not only from internal accidents like FTX, but they're also under pressure from the strengthening USD
Yeah, oh
with
yeah,
higher and higher interest rates. So that is actually the biggest macro headwind for Bitcoin and crypto, because capital is getting more expensive. So for every crypto pair, we have the denominator as USDT, and that's
yeah,
getting more strong. So that will pull it down every pair. And so we have to wait and watch. So in fact, for crypto industry, the biggest headwind this year, outside of the internal issues, is the strengthening USD, which is as a result of the higher and increasing rates. We don't know, and nobody actually knows where the interest rates will actually go and stop, and where the Fed will pause. So, safe to assume that there is at least some more or
yeah,
sizable more rate hike ahead in the next 6 months.
yeah.
So, whenever those things pause, and then from that point onwards, I think based on the growth, economic growth, and all that, the crypto industry will come back. But one thing I want to say as the silver lining here, or the positive point for all people involved in crypto here, is that this is not the first time this crypto winter environment has come. This is the nth time now. Okay,
Yeah.
and the learning from every single crypto winter is that you have to use these downturns to buy, because that is the only way we get that multiplier gain, which is not possible from any kind of trading. And
Sure.
therefore, so for example, live example is our own Algorand blockchain, and the Algo token that we use day in and day out for our work. That's currently at 19 cents per Algo. So that's a 3-year low, or nearly, and it recently went till 0.16 and 0.1598. So that was a absolute low, and then bounced back to nearly zero point 0.2 or 20 cents today. These are extremely good levels for investors to just buy Algorand, uh, even with a 1-year view, because we see Algorand going back to 50, 55 cents anytime as soon as markets stabilize. But does it mean that it can't go lower? Absolutely, it can go lower, because if the environment is weak, it may again go and test 15 cents, 12 cents, 10 cents. But that's the point, that investors should be willing to buy during these periods, because that is when you get a 5x gain when things stabilize. So I think that is the main message. And another main message is that Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, the Bitcoin chain, the truly decentralized to coins, they should be in the portfolio. That's where the real core strength would lie for the vast majority of investors.
Well, that sounds really good, and we could use a silver lining. I think like it was the first time ever that N2 contracted. So I think it's dangerous, of course, for the leverage in the system. But I totally agree with you. I think this is an excellent time if you have the opportunity to buy some of these tokens. It's not financial advice, but it's what I'm
Yes,
doing. But yeah, you have
yeah,
to tread carefully, of course, because things can still happen unexpectedly, right?
yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of a nice overview. And how have these recent developments impacted Green Earth token?
Uh, we started GreenEarth token was minted in September first week, and finite supply on Algorand blockchain, and the engineering work started from September, and in small ways. October was the first full month, and that's when we did the first AMAs with you, and to inform people about what the project is. And we started building our community on Discord, Twitter, and so the project started taking shape in a proper way from October onwards. We also listed on Dextrade and Windax towards October ending. So, so we had no major plans to sell GBT tokens in the last 3 months, because we are waiting for the GreenEarth blockchain to integrate with our main partner, the e-commerce partner Ganga, which is in India. With a That's where the large user base will come from, and the large transaction volume will come from. So that entire integration process is scheduled for Feb. So our token sales have been uh, not impacted much, because we didn't actually start that entire process of token sales yet. But we do believe that because of what has happened in the crypto industry in the last month or two, the token sales will have a bit lower momentum whenever we go out in Jan, Feb, March, because of the impact. But what we also see very clearly based on our discussions and the messages from investors is that there is still a very clear demand for a stable project, a project with fundamentals. And GreenEarth project has very strong fundamentals based on our even people who are seeing the project for the first time, reading the white paper and checking the videos. They are seeing that the project is actually a hybrid of physical fundamental food supply chains linked with the blockchain. So there is an actual project, actual income streams on the ground that are going to get coming onto the blockchain and supporting the token prices. So so we believe that whenever we go out, which is in the coming this quarter, Jan, Feb, March, we would have enough interest, because we are not looking for the whole world of investors. We need very limited token sales to fund the next leg of project. So therefore, we believe that whatever the environment, we will be able to successfully sell the GBT tokens to the requirement that we have.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very solid project. The first time that I heard it is, of course, from you, but I really like how it sort of focuses on local production. It sort of rewards the local producers. They can compete with the multinationals. It gives full
Yes,
transparency. It lowers costs. It's good for the environment, and it creates great quality products, right? So it's all good. What
yeah.
is the roadmap going forward?
Excuse me. 2023 will be our first full year, and also the year where we actually go live on the blockchain, where the transactions will start getting represented on the blockchain, and users will start getting GEBT tokens for their participation. So this is going to be our year where the blockchain takes off. uh, so the first roadmap is so in our roadmap, if I take it by like time frame, so our first quarter plan is to get GreenEarth blockchain live, integration done with Ganga project on the ground in India, and which is our first major strategic partner, and through which we expect to get the first million users for the GBT token. So that is the important milestone. And I think once that integration is done, then users and investors and all observers can see how the vision of GreenEarth blockchain is getting executed, where when people participate in the blockchain, whether they are food producers or involved in packaging, quality control, or end users, they are all getting rewarded for that participation in that authentic supply chain, where which is basically making all efforts to remove all forms of adulteration and tampering and chemicals and additives.
Yeah,
And so that's a first step. So, and then the roadmap involves adding this year uh, on the ground 3,000 to 4,000 validators who will be humans. And so these validators are basically will be based across India, because that's our first major market to start with. And these validators will be added over time, but our goal for 2023 is to have 3,000 to 4,000 validators, and these validators are essentially uh, going to be spread across India, and their role will be to monitor the supply chain, the e-commerce transactions, and we believe that because they will be widespread in their location, each validator will also help us in adding about 100 new users on the supply chain side. When we say supply chain side, it is the back end side of GreenEarth where uh, the food producers, the farmers, or people who are involved in any kind of creation activity, those users, 100 of them, because of their location, and that also means that uh, the Ganga platform, which is the e-commerce platform, that will have newer and newer suppliers who are all conforming to the requirements of authentic creation or authentic food products or authentic natural products. Even if they are not food products, they could be herbal products or they could be herbal medicines, all of which conform to the authentic requirements. And they will start coming on the e-commerce platform. And once they come on the e-commerce platform, every transaction will start getting reflected on GreenEarth. So in that sense, these validators will essentially work towards expanding the portfolio of products that will start coming on GreenEarth blockchain. And so you can say almost uh, 1 to 100 multiplier effect in terms of new users, and that's why we believe that as we progress in this year, we can't tell exact numbers yet, but we would start moving towards the 1 million users for GBT tokens.
Wow.
And if you think, Nick, there are a handful of projects in crypto which are having 1 million users. In fact,
True.
you will start going towards the top 15 or top 10 rank already in user base. So top 20 for sure, if not top 15. So we will aim to reach there in terms of user base. Uh, and I would like to add here that the goal of GreenEarth blockchain project is not just to be there at some number 15th or number 10th rank in user base. The aim is to come right behind Bitcoin at number two.
Nice,
So
nice.
yes, so we will see what market cap it brings because market cap is not in our control. It
True.
is dependent on what the market will give for our token for what we are doing. Our present market cap ranges from 800 to 900 million USDT because there are 800 million tokens as circulating supply. There's a circulating supply, but they're not actually circulating. Less than 5 million are circulating. So a very small percent is there today. Okay, a very small percent. So only when the users buy the products, the tokens get released. When community members work, like the validators, they are community members. We will give them 5 or 10 tokens for their work. That's how the tokens get released because they will be doing on the ground work. So when work happens, tokens get released. So it's very similar to how the mining of Bitcoin happens. So only when you do the mining, the coin comes out. Similarly, only when the work happens or an e-commerce transaction happens. And in e-commerce transaction, we get paid. So the coin gets released against payment on e-commerce transactions. So in that sense, there is an income coming all the time. So whenever the GBT token is getting released, either income is coming or new users are coming. So it's basically a very tangible outcome for the project against which the token will get released.
Yeah, so it's a
Right?
very organic growth. So if there is growth,
Yes,
it's an organic growth.
yes. So basically, the tokens are going out from the GreenEarth system and into the users' wallets. It is for a material result that we have got as for the project. And the third way to release the tokens is when we sell some exchange tokens on the exchange from our investor wallet. That is when investors will be buying. So that is also the third way in which the tokens will go out. And we believe that that is also a process which will happen in this year. But the number of tokens that are going to be on sale for investors will be less than 5% of the total supply. In fact, it may be just 2% because that's all we need to sell to fund the entire set of work for the next 2 years or 3 years.
So developments are going great, as I understand it, and you're sort of creating jobs as well, right? Because you need all these validators. So can
Yes,
you sort
that's
of,
those are jobs. Yeah.
yeah. So can you sort of highlight maybe other developments within Ganja and Green Earth blockchain?
Uh, the Ganga project, which is the large e-commerce platform that we are building on the ground in India. Uh, it is a very unique project because it is through Ganga project that we will be reaching out to the thousands of food producers and self-help groups, as they are called in India, which is rural communities who come together to create products and then sell them with the help of state government. So there are organized structures to create products, food products, as well as validated products, and then sell them to other markets. So we will be involving all these people, thousands of them. So the current development status is that GreenEarth blockchain system, which will be responsible for issuing tokens to all users who are in a transaction, that is under development currently, and it may complete by Feb, mid Feb and Feb. We will see around that time frame. And Ganga project, which is the e-commerce platform that we talked about, the large platform to support this on the physical activity on the ground, the physical system, that is also under development, and it will be ready by end Feb, the technical system. But after Feb, and once it is ready as technical system, then it will take about 3 months to load all the data from the various participants into the system. So, for example, all the, you can say, the rural communities, the farmers, suppliers, to load their data and their products, and which basically can support the blockchain. Because when somebody buys a product, the blockchain will show the entire trace till the farm level. So to load that backend data into Ganga, because that's where the data will be stored at each farm level, that will take 3 months from end Feb. So you can say by end May, the entire set of data that we have of all the suppliers, the producers, they will all get loaded, and at the same time, validators will get added as well, the first batch. So, however, from the transaction perspective, even from the end March, the Ganga project will be capable of starting e-commerce transactions on whatever participants have and products have already been added. So we expect that from end March, the entire system of GreenEarth blockchain will start functioning and start doing the live work that we are expecting it to do. So there's an integration phase of Ganga and GreenEarth, because GreenEarth blockchain is in one which is the issuing of tokens, and Ganga is where the transactions are happening. So this integration will happen towards end Feb or maybe early March. And by end of March, we will have a live working system that's actually capable of showing to users and investors what this system is. And from there, I think uh, the scale up will be there, and that is by then we expect the first round of token sales to have also completed, so capital will come and scaling up will happen from there.
So this coming year, this year, 2023, will be like a very keystone moment for Green Earth.
Yes, yes, because this is the year where the concept that we have put and the vision that we have shown will be implemented, and people can see firsthand how the entire GreenEarth blockchain is working. And I think only when they see a working system, investors and users will obviously start trusting the whole thing lot before, because they're already getting tokens. But investors will be able to get the full understanding of the concept, and also realize the potential of what we are doing once they see the live working of GreenEarth and Ganga. Because India is our first market, because our research has shown that it is a very large potential, and our co-founders and team members are also based there. So that's a market that is large in size and extremely favorable for the work that we are doing in GreenEarth. And so that alone is capable of getting a very large user base and transaction volume. And the next market, we may get a chance to start this year or next year, or we will see when. But in the roadmap, there is the expansion of GreenEarth blockchain in North America, in USA and Canada, and those are also in our view very favorable markets for what we are doing in GreenEarth blockchain. And in USA and Canada, we may have Ganga's own platform built for those markets, as well as we may have local organic food or natural food e-commerce companies, or direct large farmers who are producing large amount of fruits and vegetables in the US in suitable ways for GreenEarth blockchain. They may all integrate and participate in GreenEarth blockchain once we start onboarding them in US and Canada. So North America is our next stop.
So if all goes well, and I think it will, then this will be like a really good moment to get in GreenEarth token, right? And I think we
Our,
haven't mentioned it yet, but are there any plans to list GEBT token on new exchanges in the future, or?
uh, so yeah, those are very good questions, both of them. I do think that those investors who are looking for early stage projects which are having real life use cases and some fundamental setup in place, if you're looking for projects like that, then you should study and evaluate what we are doing in GreenEarth blockchain, because I do believe that this is a fundamentally strong project. It is being built for a long haul of multiple years and decades, with very strong grassroots level organization development taking place. Because like in terms of validators, this is year one, and we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000. Validators is a function of capital. Once we get capital from token sales, then the validators may go till 100,000 validators in each market. So today in India, tomorrow in US, North Canada. So it's a function of capital because we have to pay some amount to validator to be able to work with us. So, and they will deliver, once we start adding a validators, they will deliver 100x in terms of user base, but it's still a function of capital. So we will do it step by step. But there is a significant scaling up possible in this project. And so investors who want to have a early stage project for a token which is just in the initial stage, I would say that this is one of those projects. And I think once our user base starts growing and it starts figuring out in the top 100 will be very fast. Top 50 also will be fast. Once we reach top 20, top 15 user base, by that time token itself may start moving up by itself. And also when people realize that our market cap is getting supported with liquidity. Currently, the liquidity is less. It's about 50K per day, 50K USDT per day. But we have a plan to increase the liquidity to 250K to 500K USDT this quarter and take it to 1 million USDT per day. Because that is when we feel that, as per our study, all the top 100 crypto projects, they have more than 1 million USDT or around 1 million at least USDT liquidity per day, or top 200 projects. So we need to get the profile ready for that, so that investors can come in and come out of the token with ease, because that liquidity is required. So one of our uh, clear goals is also to grow the daily trading volume or the liquidity on 24-hour basis to 1 million USDT plus this year.
Wow.
And for that, the capital will come from the planned token sales.
And it sort of really nicely fits with probably the recovery and the bottoming out of Bitcoin, right? So once this is ready, we'll be probably going up.
Yeah, though, yeah, I would say yes, and see, the crypto market may take another year from what has happened so far. Uh, this year, it will take, like I said, at least 5 6 months to stabilize from what has happened. Plus, some recovery period if you take. 2024 is in terms of Bitcoin halving, the setup, it's a very good, likely to be a very positive year by crypto for itself. And I think in that sense, yes, GEBT token would also have established itself on multiple parameters like fundamentally valid operations, income generation, then trading volume, which is in line with the top 100 and top 200 cryptos, and a user base which is also in line with the top 100 or top 50 or maybe even top 25 crypto projects. So when these metrics start aligning, then we believe that investors will join. Already there are already through LinkedIn, and there are messages from investors of crypto industry that tell us more, or how can we learn more, can we have a call, etc. But every time we send them to your past videos.
That's really kind, and I'm really glad that Bitcoin Live can sort of perform this service for you guys.
Yes,
And
and
yeah,
that's the reason for today's call, to to just share all the updates with you, discuss with you, and let that be the first video with all answers that we know of, and kind of help investors to understand what we are doing. I think the main thing is investors have to understand what we are aiming for here, and what we're aiming for here is may look big in terms of saying top 100 market cap, which is there, top 25 or top 20 user base, which we are aiming for, which is also not difficult. So once once the initial numbers start playing out, let's say in the next couple of quarters, that is when they will get some confidence, and they will be able to take their initial positions. For those who are not already closely aware of what we are doing.
yeah, and then like they always say, a bear market is the time to build. So
Yes, perfect.
yeah.
That's, I fully agree with that. This is the time to build, and thankfully, our project has co-founders who are very bullish, and with their own network of people who are very favorable towards the project. So I think that itself will help us in getting the takeoff that we need over the next 3 months.
Yeah. So basically, it's only positive news. So there's a lot of also with exchanges and liquidity and volume. Is there anything that you want to highlight there that we might have missed, or?
Yeah, I wanted to add one point about the exchanges. We covered the first question about is it a good time to get into GBT token. I think that's what we covered in detail. That yes, I believe that now and over the next few months is a good time to enter GBT, because once the data starts playing out, the token would not be where it is here. It will start moving up quite rapidly, in my view. What we are doing currently is, because India is our large market in terms of user base, like we expect almost a million plus users and from India, both as end customers as well as the supply side users. So we are currently actively working to get a GBT INR pair. So basically to get GBT listed in one of the exchanges in India, and that will enable the users in India who are getting the tokens for participating in the transactions to see a value in INR, which is the local currency. That will help them in understanding the value of what they are getting. And if required, if some farmer or some user wants to sell the tokens that they have accumulated over a 2 month or 3 month period, then they can come into the exchange and sell there whatever in rupees, which is the local currency, and it will come into their bank account. So therefore, the need for GBT INR pair was clearly seen, and we are working to get that pair launched in the very near future, in the coming weeks.
Nice.
So
That's
that's the
really.
first. So in exchange terms, yes, and for non-India users or investors, the place to go for buying GBT is Dex Trade, because that is where the volume is there currently, and that is where the volume will also pick up. All our efforts to grow trading volume will be focused on Dex Trade, and that's where we aim to take it to 250k and 500k USDT daily volume and beyond in the coming months. And
Wow. Okay. And how can people all over the world participate in GreenEarth blockchain?
um, I think this is going to be a like we have three use cases that we have talked about so far. One is the major use case that we're working on, the authenticity in food supply chain. That's a big one. The second use case is natural health services, where uh, people can validate the efficacy of the natural healthcare products or Ayurvedic products that they have used. And so far, no, there's no chain which tracks the results and efficacy of these products. But GreenEarth blockchain will have a system where users are documenting, and we are documenting and logging the benefits and efficacy of various natural products. And therefore, globally, users can see that this product is really benefiting users for this condition, and then they can opt for that with a knowledge, rather than just reading articles about its benefits and we don't know who is writing what. So we want a data backed uh, approach. That's a big use case because natural healthcare is a very large market, billions of dollars. So we want to take a position there. And the third is the carbon trading industry, which is still extremely nascent. And again, it ties up with what we are doing in the food simplicity, because farmers worldwide have trees with them, and individually their trees may not count for much, but once they aggregate, once GreenEarth blockchain aggregates the trees of thousands of farmers, it is a very viable and large set of trees equivalent to a large forest or a big, very big forest, and that can be monetized as carbon credit. So we want to do that as well. So carbon credits is a very real. It's about 2.2 billion industry today, but it data research data is saying that it can go on to 10, 15 billion in the coming
Wow.
year. So that's a big market. So whichever way you see it, whether it's authenticity of food, natural healthcare, carbon credits, GreenEarth blockchain wants to be involved very closely with nature, climate, and authenticity of or preserving what we have, and showing what is right and showing what is not right.
Yeah, these are
So
all lofty goals,
yeah,
and
so
yeah.
yes, and people can involve us. So from there, the involvement options come out. So people who are involved, uh, suppose somebody is producing a large amount of food without using chemicals and pesticides, they can contact us and say that we would like to show our food products through your blockchain. How can we participate? They can contact us, and we will see how to integrate them so that their products get a global visibility, because then they can sell more and hence become more profitable for whatever they are doing, and hence their lifeline increases by many more years. Similarly, if you are involved in the social media industry, then there are so many ways to participate. We will have ongoing opportunities to do marketing for our work, and with payments in GEBT tokens. So you can contact us for that. And and regarding investors in crypto industry who are based worldwide, uh, you can study our project, and you can take positions at now at the current level, or sometime in the coming months once you have more data and clarity. And lastly, people who are involved in any form of research or active study related to nature, environment, they can also contact us in case we can find a way to involve them in our project.
Well, Shankar, this is really amazing, and I always love it when you're coming back on and giving these updates. And I think it's an incredibly viable and also incredibly powerful and potential revolutionary blockchain project that you are working on. And I'm glad that I sort of now that you reached out to us and that we sort of got to know each other and of course about this project that you're building. And I invite everybody out there to sort of do their research, check out what Shankar says, see it for yourself, and try to get involved if you like it. Of course, this is never financial advice, but if you can change the planet for the better and help local farmers compete with multinationals, create lower prices, get better food, right? What else do you want in the world? So check out this awesome project. And Shankar, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Well, you summarized it really well, Nick. And so I think we covered whatever we wanted to do in this call, and we covered it quite well. And I would say that this is the first of a series of videos that we want to do with Nick to share updates, because there's a lot of movement expected this year. So today is 8th of Jan. We will have at least one more update video before end of Jan again on this channel with Nick, because lots of updates are expected.
That sounds terrific, and I think this will be a very important year for the project. And I wish
Yes.
you guys all the best, and I'm sure that it will be incredible.
Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you very much.
Take care, Shankar, and to all those who are watching. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching.